Tell me your true horror stories. If you're reading this alone, turn on the lights. 1. My big brother used to have an imaginary brother, and he would always play him with. But sometimes he would say stop, leave me alone. Or no, I don't want to go to my room to play. My mom would ask him what's going on, and he would say he won't leave me alone. Of course my mom had no idea what he was talking about, and thought it was just him being a kid with an imaginary friend. Well, a day after my brother's birthday, he had these balloons, and keep in mind, my brother is just a little kid and he's obviously not tall, so he couldn't reach the plates, knives, forks, etc. It was around 10 to 11 p.m. and my mom heard the balloons pop. So she went outside and my brother looked really scared. So my mom asked him what's happened. Did you pop the balloons? And my brother said, freaking out, no, it was him, pointing to his imaginary friend that my mom obviously couldn't see. My mom saw the knife next to the balloons and immediately knew that he was too short to reach any of those things, so she said, get out of my house, to my brother's imaginary friend. Since my mom couldn't see him, she asked my brother if he left already, and he said he had left and thanked my mom. Later, about 10 to 15 minutes later, my cousins came over, and my cousin said that he saw a woman in all white, with her hair in front of her face in the front door. My brother said that was his mom, and she opened the door, so my cousins were already inside, and asked my brother if she was still there. And my brother said yes, and that she was mad. She started to yell for her to get out, and then she asked my brother if she was still here, and he said no. My brother is now 19 and says he still sometimes sees him in his mirror. 2. This was one of my first paranormal experiences. I was about 8 or 9. It was a summer night and I was in my room sleeping. Because it was so hot I didn't need any blankets to cover myself up. In the middle of the night, I must have slipped my leg of the bed. I woke up to something scratching my foot. I don't have any pets in my house. I looked down and saw hands under the bed. They looked really old and had really long nails, like witches' hands. I started moving, blinking and stuff just to convince myself that the stuff that I was seeing is not real. It was. I ran off and told my parents about it, but they were acting like any other parents, saying that it was just a nightmare. However, the next day I woke up, looked at my foot and saw a scratch. My bed is also like fully covered in this material, and doesn't have any sharp edges or anything that I could have scratched myself on. Later in my life, I've discovered that in my religion there are things called jinns. There are good and bad ones. They can try to shape into humans, but every time 3 try they fail. Basically, it was a jinn that night that have scratched me. Since then, I don't sleep without being covered in blanket at night. How about you? Share in the comments.